Carries on and on and on.
It's like I gave you the box, but it's like I have nothing served with that.
The news that truly shocks is the empty, empty page, while the final rattle rocks. It's empty, empty cage. And I can't handle this. I grieve for you, and you leave me. Let it out and move on. Missing what's gone. They say life carries on. They say life carries on and on and on. Life carries on in the people I meet, in everyone that's out on the street, in all the dogs and cats, in the flies and rats, in the rot and the rust, in the ashes and the dust. And life carries on and on and on and on. Life carries on and on and on. It's just the car that we ride in, the home we reside in, the face that we hide in, the way we are tied in. And life carries on and on and on and on. Life carries on and on and on. Did I dream this belief, or did I believe this dream? Now I can find relief. I grieve.
wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I haver, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's havering to you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm working, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who's working hard for you. And when the money comes in for the work I do, I'll pass almost every penny on to you. When I come home, oh, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home to you. And if I drove, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's going over you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more.
Hello. Pardon me. Doing all right. How are you doing? Oh, that's good to hear. Thank you.
When I'm lonely, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's lonely without you.
Yes, I got you.
When I'm dreaming, well, I know I'm gonna dream about the time when I'm with you. When I go out, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And when I come home, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home with you. I'm gonna be the man who's coming home with you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
Bridgeport school officials said today a second person is facing criminal charges for taking part in this snowball assault on a teacher. Good evening, I'm Ted Coppy. Thanks for watching News 12 Connecticut. Officials say a current student led a former student into Central High School on Tuesday and then recorded it on cell phone video. The teacher involved says she met with a prosecutor at Bridgeport Superior Court today so she could give him this cell phone video of the assault that was sent to her. She says the assault left her with headaches and dizziness and possibly a concussion. The teacher says because the incident was recorded, she thinks at least 2 people planned the attack.
It was upsetting to me. It bothered me. And it was just upsetting.
School officials say the student who recorded the cell phone video will face expulsion as well as criminal charges. They tell us the 15-year-old who threw the snowball is scheduled to go before a judge next Friday. Bridgeport fire officials are investigating the cause of a fire that damaged a residential area of a church today. It happened on the 2nd and 3rd floors above the Fountain of Youth Bible Way Church on Madison Avenue. Fire officials say everyone inside was able to get out in time and nobody was hurt. Friends and family today paid their final respects to actor Philip Seymour Hoffman. His private funeral was held in Manhattan this morning. The list of mourners included actors Meryl Streep, Cate Blanchett, Ethan Hawke, and Joaquin Phoenix. As we reported, Hoffman was found dead Sunday of an apparent heroin overdose in his apartment. He was 46 years old. The Winter Olympics are officially underway after 2 days of practice and qualifying. The opening ceremony was held in the resort town of Sochi, Russia today. But they didn't go off without a hitch. The show opened with only 4 of the 5 Olympic rings lighting up. 5 large glowing snowflakes were supposed to morph into the rings, but only 4 of them joined together while the 5th remained a snowflake. The opening ceremony is being televised in the U.S. this evening. Meantime, there was concern today in the nearby nation of Turkey, where officials made an arrest of an airline passenger who they say claimed to have a bomb on board and wanted the plane diverted to the Olympic city of Sochi. They say the suspect is Ukrainian and they did not find a bomb. That leads to the question we're asking you today. Are you worried about the threat of terrorism at the Olympics? So far, 60% of you are saying yes, 40% saying no so far. You can vote on news12.com, on channel 612, or you can weigh in on Facebook. And Carmen says, nothing surprises me anymore. It's sad. People are cruel. You can share your thoughts on our Facebook page. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter for updates to the stories that we're working on throughout the day. An 18-year-old from Ridgefield named Tucker West is one of Connecticut's youngest Olympians. And tomorrow, he will proudly represent the U.S. in the luge competition. News 12 Connecticut's Zach Sauce is in West's hometown tonight. And Zach, you were able to sit down with his mother.
Ted, much of the Ridgefield community will be joining Pam West as she proudly watches her 18-year-old son making his way around the U.S. Olympic Stadium in Sochi for the opening ceremony. Tucker West is the youngest male ever to make the U.S. Olympic luge team. His mother says he began training for the sport at age 8 in the Adirondacks. She says Tucker was so taken by the sport that his father built, get this, their very own luge in the backyard. The track runs 750 feet and features an uphill section just like Sochi's. Today only half of the course remains, but it did its job. In December, the 18-year-old qualified for the team during a solid showing in the World Cup in Park City, Utah. His mother remembers the moment when he found out he made the cut.
He was really excited. I mean, it was a really stressful fall for all of the teammates. I mean, they had to make certain cuts to get to this position, and it was really down to the last minute, and he was over the moon happy.
And you can see the town's really rallying around the young 18-year-old, putting up posters and flags throughout Main Street. We'll have more on that side of the story in a later newscast. In Ridgefield, Zach Sauce, News 12, Connecticut.
It's great to see Zach. Thank you. Meantime, we're checking out our hyperlocal forecast from meteorologist Carrie Hall. Did you see that backyard filled with snow, filled with ice? Perfect for the winter games, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and Ted, we're going to have more of these mounds of snow sticking with us. All of the snow we've had recently, we've had at least 2 feet above the normal amount that we have for this time of year. And yes, it stays cold going into tonight. Mostly clear skies. Looking farther to the west and south of us, it is all clear, so we are going to enjoy this quiet weather for a little while longer. At 10 o'clock tonight, 23 degrees, and starting out the morning, 17 with a clear sunrise. We'll start to see some clouds moving in around noon, and only 25 degrees. So tomorrow, another cold day, and we are going to have more cold weather in the rest of that forecast. I'll have a look at that, and I'll let you know if there's any more snow headed this way. That's coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Carrie. Ahead, help for local veterans who need it the most. Why the vets we spoke to today say they're now optimistic about their futures. And a local fire department unveils new tools that officials say will help them do their jobs a bit better. Audio check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. I'm not sure I've ever sat over here. This is new. It's exciting. Even more lefter? I'll try to stay right here. There's one of those plastic ridges. I could slip and bump this way. I'll just lean in. You know what? I emptied my scotch this afternoon. It's Gatorade. I'm trying to rehydrate. I'm hungover as can be. Trying to sober up for the 10.
Today, the pledge we should take together is simple. Connecticut can and will end homelessness for veterans by the end of 2015.
We have a News 12 follow-up to Governor Malloy's State of the State address yesterday, in which he proposed a plan to help homeless veterans in our state. Today, veterans in Bridgeport shared their gratitude for the governor's remarks and say they're optimistic about their futures. The governor's budget sets aside money for a new security deposit program to help homeless vets. The proposal focuses on funds for job placement and financial support to existing state facilities. One vet we spoke with today at Homes for the Brave in Bridgeport said he's happy the situation is being addressed.
Somebody out there is, thinking about us vets and, knowing that we're going through, certain situations that's real helpful, that's something, that's real promising.
Meantime, officials at Homes for the Brave say if any veterans are currently struggling with employment and housing, they should contact them. And you can find a link to their website on ours, news12.com. Milford police say nobody was seriously hurt when a van carrying disabled passengers collided with a car on the Post Road today. The accident happened near the intersection with Clark Street, right in front of the Aldi supermarket. Chopper 12 was above the scene just after 9 a.m. Police say the driver of the van was issued a ticket for going through a red light. They say the 2 drivers and all 8 passengers in the van were taken to the hospital as a precaution. Vice President Joe Biden said today he sees no obvious reason not to run for president in 2016. Biden says he plans to make a decision by the summer of 2015, and it'll be based on whether he thinks he's the best qualified person for that job. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is widely seen as the Democratic frontrunner for the White House after President Obama's second term, but she has not announced her candidacy. Officials in Washington say a man was arrested today trying to climb over a fence at the White House. The Secret Service says the unidentified man was apprehended before he could get over the fence. They say he had 2 bags with him, but there is no word on what was in them. Former Arizona Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords today marked a major milestone since the shooting that almost took her life. She drove a car. Giffords posted the news on Facebook along with this video of her. She's behind the wheel on a closed course. It's been 3 years since she was shot in the head during a meet and greet event outside of a supermarket. To mark the 3rd anniversary of the shooting last month, Giffords went skydiving. She said that was her way of saying, "I'm alive."
I'm meteorologist Carrie Hall. Chilly again tonight, down to 10 degrees north of the Parkway and south of the Merritt, a low of 17 degrees. And yes, it will be cold and not reaching above freezing tomorrow. In fact, we start out with some sunshine and then the clouds start to move in, reaching 29 degrees north and 31 south, and not much of a warm up through the rest of the forecast. I'll show it to you and the chance of snow. That's coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Carrie, thank you. The Westport Fire Department held a promotion ceremony today for a longtime member of the staff. Current acting Fire Lieutenant Daniel Ambruso officially moved up in the ranks to full-time Fire Lieutenant. First Selectman Jim Marpy administered the oath of office along with Fire Chief Andrew Kingsbury. Ambruso, who was surrounded by family and friends during the ceremony, said he's very pleased.
The shift that is working today is the shift that I came from, so it's nice to be sworn in front of the guys I came from and you know, continue on with the process.
Ambruso says he's been with the Westport Fire Department for 10 years. Bridgeport Mayor Bill Finch and Fire Chief Brian Rooney today dedicated 2 new fire trucks at the fire department's headquarters. The mayor says the trucks, which cost $1.2 million, represent an investment for the city and a financial expenditure that was necessary.
This is where your tax dollars go. This is why we are so proud of our Bridgeport Fire Department. This is going to keep our firefighters safe and our citizens even safer.
Fire Chief Rooney says the new state-of-the-art trucks have anti-rollover devices and other new technologies that will help the firefighters get to and from fires safely. The New Canaan Police Department announced today 2 of their members are moving up in the ranks. Officials say Sergeant Jason Ferraro has been promoted to lieutenant. They say Ferraro has served with the department for 15.5 years. And police say Officer Kevin Casey was promoted to sergeant. They say Casey has served the department for 20 years. Officials say he's also a co-chairman of the Fairfield County Hazmat Communications Response Team. New Canaan Police say both promotions will go into effect tomorrow. Meteorologist Carrie Hall has a look at the next 7 days in your hyperlocal forecast. But first, here's what some local communities can expect tomorrow.
Here they come, the reinforcements.
Snow, ice, rain. This storm brought it all to southwestern Connecticut, and only News 12 Connecticut brought it all to you from where you live.
Freezing rain, that's the story this hour.
Whether you're starting your day
at midday will be at or near 30
or looking to the next.
Very treacherous to drive in.
When the weather turns, it's time to turn to News 12. News 12 Connecticut, as local news gets. Only on Optimum.
I'm sorry, what? So, we do. Can you try it? Say something? Yep.
It's Milford. Huh? Yeah.
Pushed it left, right. Can somebody pop me up? I pushed my tie and I may have pushed it the wrong way. There we go. I didn't want to be like the Dilbert anchor, you know what I mean? Here's the latest this evening. Bridgeport police say a second teenager is now facing charges for letting a former student in a central high school so he could attack a teacher with a snowball and then recording the incident on his cell phone. News 12 Connecticut this evening spoke with the mother of 18-year-old Tucker West from Ridgefield, who's representing the U.S. in the luge competition at the Sochi Olympics. His mother tells us she'll proudly be watching her son in tonight's opening ceremony, as well as tomorrow's competition. In a News 12 Connecticut update, 2 men were sentenced today in connection with the brutal murder of a Stanford laundromat attendant. Yvonne Silva Perez was sentenced to 24 years behind bars, while Elmer Sands Mercado was sentenced to 16 years. Prosecutors say the 2 men murdered Jimmy DiCrescenzo inside Uncle Buck's laundromat in June 2012 because they wanted the gold chain he wore around his neck and also the quarters in his pockets. Dick Crescenzo's brother spoke before the court saying he thought this day would never come, while Silva Perez told them he's not a killer.
It's over, it's like, we finally got through it, and they're where they belong, and hopefully they won't be able to hurt anybody else like, they did with my brother.
I'm not a killer, how they think I am. I'm not. I was drunk. It wasn't me. And I just want to say I feel so sorry about it.
The attorney for Silva Perez made a request to the judge that his client be able to hug his child and mother before leaving the courtroom to serve his prison term. The judge denied that request. In 12 on Schools, Wilton Public School officials confirmed today they've hired a new superintendent. Officials say the current superintendent of Bethel Public Schools, Dr. Kevin Smith, will take over for Wilton's current superintendent, Dr. Gary Richards, in July. As we reported, Richards announced in August that he was going to be stepping down. Officials at the Beardley Zoo in Bridgeport said today they are excited to have been granted accreditation again by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. Officials say the zoo has been accredited since 1987, but had to undergo a thorough review of its standards in animal care, veterinary programs, conservation, education, and, of course, safety. Officials say only 223 zoos and aquariums in the United States have AZA accreditation.
We are in a rare group, showing that we do our professional standards. We work very hard for the care and well-being of our animals.
Officials say the AZA requires zoos and aquariums to go through the review process every 5 years to remain members of that association. Meteorologist Carrie Hall joins us now with a look at our hyperlocal forecast. A lot of folks already embarking on their Friday evening, others looking to make weekend plans.
Yeah, and zoo is a good place to go.
Well, there you go. Yeah, even this time of year, it's a good place to go.
Yeah, you just need to bundle up and then just enjoy the cool weather that we have and all of the snow that's still on the ground. A local lookout tonight in Milford, you can see the snow piled up on each side of the road, and just ignore that and go about your evening. And as we go into the next several days, that snow will be staying with us, so we might as well get used to it. Mostly clear skies tonight, and we may have some thin clouds moving in, but overall very quiet and also a sunny start to the day on Saturday. Here's what to expect after a very chilly night with mostly clear skies. You'll need to bundle up and increasing clouds throughout the day on Saturday. Highs reaching near 30 degrees. Scattered snow again on Sunday, and mainly in the afternoon, and it will bring some light accumulation. The forecast showing that there will be some quick passing light snow flurries overnight Saturday into early Sunday, and then a clipper will be moving in from the west and bringing us a better chance of snow. This one lasting for maybe a couple of hours. Very light snow, anywhere up from dusting up to an inch, and down to 10 degrees tonight in Wilton. Yes, it is going to be chilly, and look at Stratford's low, 17 degrees, and some sunshine early in the day on Saturday. You still need the sunglasses, but then you'll be taking them off in the afternoon. Once the clouds roll in, we'll be topping out in the upper 20s to lower 30s. Over the next several days, we are going to be frigid and some light snow on Sunday. It stays cold next week and below freezing, lows in the teens, and another chance of snow in the forecast for Thursday. I'll have another look at the hyperlocal forecast coming up.
All right, sounds good, Carrie. Thank you. 12 on transportation. Here's a quick check of the News 12 Connecticut gas gauge in case you're heading out, hitting the roads this weekend. Pilot on Old Gate Lane in Milford has regular gas for $3.53 a gallon right now. Mini Mart on Cove Road in Stamford has regular for $3.58 a gallon. If you see a good deal out there, be sure to let us know. Just call the News 12 Connecticut gas gauge at 1-800-824-9002, or you can email us at news12ct@news12.com.
You're watching News 12 Connecticut, nominated for 35 prestigious New York Emmy Awards for excellence in broadcasting.